families, and teachers were affected by a data breach on a platform that school systems use every single day. The breach was with PowerSchool. It's a cloud-based platform that tens of thousands of schools all over our country use. A majority of districts in North and South Carolina use it as well.
Now, the breach began December 19th, but the company said it didn't know about it until December 28th.
And it wasn't until last week that school districts were notified that they'd be affected. WBTV's Claire Kopsky has been digging deeper into who and what was affected. She joins us now live from Lancaster County, where families are trying to find out if they were included here. Claire?
Well, Siobhan and John, the South Carolina Department of Education told me today that there are only 4 counties in the entire state here that are not affected by this breach. Those counties include Edgefield, Greenville, Horry, and Richland School District number 2. Now, although we don't know exactly what information is impacted, we do know that both former and current students and staff are impacted by this breach.
If you recognize this portal, there's a chance some of your personal information was part of a nationwide data hack. PowerSchool, a cloud-based platform used in thousands of North and South Carolina schools, had a data breach that the company has yet to announce how many users were compromised. However, every public school in North and South Carolina uses the system. The North Carolina Department of Education says less than 1,000 students' social security numbers were compromised. However, more than 1,000 North Carolina teachers' social security numbers were exposed in the breach. In South Carolina, York School District 1 said some social security numbers were breached within their schools. And Fort Mill School District told WBTV 8 former employees and 2 current or former student social security numbers were part of the breach. That district also said some allergy requirements, as well as directory information such as names, phone numbers, and addresses, were confirmed as part of the nationwide breach.
Parents tell me it's the unknown of what was compromised that concerns them. A Lancaster parent told me that she had to upload several documents when she registered her child, including her child's immunization record, their birth certificate, her driver's license, as well as 2 forms of proof of their residency in the county.
If your address and your phone number was impacted, then you would get a letter or some kind of documentation saying both your address and your phone number were exposed.
Although the breach is on a third-party platform, Lancaster County Schools says they are addressing their programs to see if there are any improvements they can make.
Our information technology director is in contact with other information technology directors in the state to talk to them about what they're doing, changes they may make.
An effort to stop the bad guys from stealing personal information.
Our main concern is really narrowing down and figuring out who all was impacted so that those individuals can get notified.
Now, the South Carolina Department of Education is putting pressure on PowerSchool to provide some sort of vendor and information for those affected to monitor their credit as well as their identity. If there's theft going on, they want to give users that tool to monitor for themselves. Now, we're continuing to reach out to PowerSchool. We've not heard back from them yet today as we've pressed them for answers on who all is affected in our area. We are told that the company is set to give an update to the Department of Education here in South Carolina on Thursday. We will, of course, bring you those updates when we have them on air and online. We're live here in Indiana. I'm Claire Kopsky, WBTV, on your side.
Certainly scary stuff because we know what happens when that information is in the wrong hands. Claire, thank you. Coming up next at 6.